So chapter 3 is about karma yoga. We spoke about karma in chapter 2. Karma means activities. Yoga means to connect. Activities that connect you to who? What? In this case, because it's the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is saying activities that connect us to Krishna. So for example, working, studying, cooking, cleaning. We can be doing all of those things without a purpose, or we can be doing it with a purpose as a service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Then work becomes worship. So there is a popular saying called work is worship. According to Bhagavad Gita, it should be work as worship. So you work as if every activity has a purpose. So whether you're doing worship on the altar, or you're working, or driving a car, everything, the consciousness that you have is, this is in service to the Lord. This has a purpose, a higher purpose than just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. That's what animals do. Animals and humans have 4 things in common. Eating, we all eat. Sleeping, we need to sleep. The need for having children, procreation, mating, and defense. Animals have claws or nails, we have atom bombs and all kinds of other defense mechanisms. But these 4 things are common according to Hitopadesh. But Hitopadesh says there's one thing that animals don't do and humans do, and that's ask higher questions. Questions about why is there suffering? Why are there so many different species in life? Why is somebody born in the royal family and somebody born in the streets? Why is there injustice? These questions, when we ask, we get the answers. And the answers are there in the Bhagavad Gita. But unless we ask these questions, we're living a life of an animal. It's called Dvipada Prashu. That means 2-legged animal. Because we are eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So karma yoga means doing activities, eating for Krishna, sleeping for Krishna, having children for Krishna, and defending to protect our religious principles, to protect our activities against those who don't want us to do those activities. So again, that is Krishna consciousness. So Krishna consciousness is the primeval part of karma yoga. Now, how do you do it? One can say, oh, I don't like to work, I'll just chant all day, or I'll just meditate all day, or I'll just worship all day. That's not what Krishna is talking about. Arjuna wanted to do that. He wanted to go to the Himalayas and not fight this war. Krishna is convincing Arjuna, no, you're misunderstanding my words. Arjuna, stay here and fight. That's what I want you to do. And because you're a warrior, you're a Kshatriya, your job is to protect others. If you don't do your job, you will not be satisfied and it will bring you infamy. Rather, you die on the battlefield than go beg in the Himalayas. And so throughout these chapters, Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight, to fight, to fight, because that's his duty. Now, what is a duty? How do you define duty? Duty is not something that we self-impose on ourselves. Sometimes parents say, oh, it's your duty to study. Government says it's your duty to pay taxes. But what is duty? Duty is something that comes from a higher authority, like the government. You don't decide what taxes you pay, the government does. It is something you have to act out, whether you like it or not. You don't say, oh, this year I don't feel like paying taxes. You have to pay taxes, right? So duty is something coming from higher authority, you have to do it, and whether you like it or not, it's something you must do. So similarly, spiritually, we have certain duties. There are higher beings. There are 33 million demigods who are controllers of the universe. And Krishna is saying, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, you should offer them to the higher beings. Eventually, you should offer it to me, because I'm the one who's sourcing everything. I'm the root of all these things that you see around. The rainfall, the sun, the moons, the vegetables, everything you see around that's being provided for. Who's paying the credit card bill? It's Krishna. We didn't invent it. Krishna is doing it. He's the source of everything, right? So it's our duty to gratefully give back to that source. And very thankfully, when we offer food to Krishna, he doesn't just, consume it, he gives it back to us. So we can also enjoy it, right? So there's no loss or diminution. We see in every religion before sitting on the table, you sing grace, you thank the Almighty Lord for the food that's being provided. So similarly, in our Vedic system, Krishna is saying that whatever food you're gaining, the grains and the vegetables, offer it to higher authorities, offer it to me, and then eat it, and that's called prasadam, right? So The whole process of karma yoga is actually living and doing things that everybody else does, but doing it with a special purpose, doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. And when you do it for the pleasure of Krishna, Krishna is not a stone-hearted, flute-playing statue. He's actually a personality who reciprocates, and that reciprocation can be felt in your hearts. And when you feel that reciprocation, you want to do more and more and more. Thus your consciousness rises, and Krishna says you can conquer lower taste by higher taste. Just like when you eat gulab jamun, and then you cannot taste anything because it's so sweet. So Krishna consciousness is like that. When Krishna reciprocates, you don't have the urge for anything that's of lower taste, anything that's material. Although you still use those material things, you still earn, you still work, you still cook, you use those things in service to the Lord, but without being attached to them. If you're not being attached, what does that mean? That means you cannot be exploited. If you're attached to, let's say, promotion, or you're attached to a gadget, people can say, oh, if you want to earn the gadget or buy the car, you have to work very hard. But if you're not attached, you cannot be exploited. So Krishna is saying, use everything in service to me without being attached to it, knowing that everything belongs to me only, and I can take everything away from you at any time. So don't be attached to it. Rather, feel nourished, feel happy in your relationship with me, in your connection with me. And that connection is called yoga. And with our activities, when we connect with Krishna, it's called karma yoga. And that's chapter 3 for you. Next week again, I'll show you what Krishna says in chapter 4.